Warning: the following podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Trespassing is not only illegal, but often incredibly dangerous. The hosts do not condone any activities that could put their listeners in harm's way, and encourage you to proceed with caution and do your research before exploring the unknown. We cannot be held liable for any accidents, injury, or hauntings that may occur. Listener discretion is advised. Okay, I have to pull up Gmail because I'm going to read. I want to start this off with one of those spam emails because I need you to hear just the ridiculousness. So there's actually two of them that were very similar, and they weren't sent from the same email address, but it was very much the same template. I'm only going to read one. But we got some very, very important correspondence in our submission email, as I told you. This comes to us from Evelyn Phillips. Are you ready?
Yes.
Hello, dear friend. I am glad to know you, but God knows you better, and He knows why He has directed me to you at this point in time, so do not be surprised at all. My names are Miss Phillips Evelyn, a widow. I have been suffering from ovarian cancer disease. At this moment, I am about to end the race like this because the illness has gotten to a very bad stage without any family members and no child. I hoped that you will not expose or betray this trust. Sorry, Evelyn. And confident that I am about to entrust on you for the mutual benefit of the orphans and the less privileged ones. I have some funds I inherited from my late husband, the sum of $9.5 million deposited in the bank. Just some funds.
Some funds.
Having known my present health status, I decided to entrust this fund to you, believing that you will utilize it the way I am going to instruct herein. Therefore, I need you to assist me and reclaim this money and use it for charity works, for orphanages, and gives justice and help to the poor, needy, and to promote the words of God and the effort that the house of God will be maintained, says the Lord. Jeremiah 22:15 through 16. It will be my great pleasure to compensate you with 35% of the total money for your personal use, 5% for any expenses that may occur during the international transfer process, while 60% of the money will go to the charity project. All I require from you is sincerity and ability to complete God's task without any failure. It will be my pleasure to see that the bank has finally released and transfer the fund into your bank account therein. Your country, even before I die here in the hospital, because of my present health status, everything... Are you dying too?
Yeah.
Everything need to be processed rapidly as soon as possible. I am waiting for your immediate reply, if only you are interested for further details of the transaction and execution of this charitable project. Best regards, your friend, Miss Phillips Evelyn. That was sent 2 days ago. We gotta get on it.
Evelyn, how the hell did you get our email address? If you're listening to the podcast, you better be subscribed to our Patreon, link down below.
We also got one from Miss Donna Louise, and I'm not going to read it because it's very much the same template, but Donna Louise is dying from a brain tumor, and her husband gave her $11 million, so what's up with all these cancerous widows trying to slide into our DMs?
I mean, just send me the money.
Yeah.
I'll give you my Venmo.
If you found my email, you can very easily find our Patreon, so...
Just send it to me on
same
Venmo.
Link tree.
Venmo, Cash App.
PayPal?
PayPal?
Well, PayPal's got some issues, but so do we. Hello and welcome to the Abandonment Issues, a periodical podcast about the past, the paranormal, and the just plain perplexing. I'm your host, Em, and I am joined here today by...
Zack, the other one.
You're so mad about my segue, huh? Brownie is in the other room, and the door is open. Brownie, come here. Come on, babe. When he gets in here, will you shut the door? Thank you.
Brownie!
There he is, the man of the hour. Oh, stinky boy.
Oh my goodness. Wait,
Yeah.
no.
Don't run away. Don't run away. Come here, honey. Yes. We've trapped him.
Oh, so good boy. Well, anyway, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. We are here today for the second time. You guys won't hear this for a while, but we're recording 2 episodes consecutively today, and I think that it's rotten our brains a bit.
Yeah, it really has.
Yeah. But it's okay. I think it's gonna be some good times, some good content. Definitely a little bit more fun than the last one because the last one was some rough stuff.
We had to take a break in between recordings because I was like, I gotta cool down.
Yeah, we needed
So-
a little. We needed to take a break or a lap. But yeah. Anything exciting happen in the intermission? You added Todd Howard to our server.
It was an accident. No, I just kind of went feral and started adding bots to Discord servers that I'm in. I married Goofy.
You married Goofy?
There's this one bot, and it's called Monday, Mundae, I think.
Okay.
And it's essentially like there's a Pokemon like slot reel,
Yeah.
so you can spin for Pokemon. There's like a bunch of different like just server things that it can do, like you can randomize names and stuff like that.
Sure.
There's like games you can play with people. There's also it's like a waifu and a husbando bot.
Uh-huh. You said that like such a stepfather, but keep going.
A husbando.
Husbando.
But you can every 3 hours your like timer resets or whatever, and you can claim like you react to an image of like whatever you spin, and you marry them and add them to your harem.
Oh my god.
And I spun for the first time in that server when I added it to it, and Goofy popped up.
Okay. Well, that's fitting considering your love of Kingdom Hearts.
Quarter in the jar. I love Kingdom Hearts, man.
Yeah, I know you do. But yeah, while you were doing that, I made some tea in my mug of the day, which is just a darling little guy.
He reminds me of a stepfather again.
Yeah.
But when he's got his boots on, and he's got that gut.
Yeah, we'll post a picture of him on the Instagram. But it's just a very handsome little mug with very detailed cowboy boots. That's it.
And it looks like the top of the green M&M.
Yeah, it does. It looks like somebody decapitated the green M&M, and no face, just boots.
Do you remember when she was like the meme?
I do. She's fine.
She could get it.
The green M&M, please reach out. All right. Well, you want to get into it?
Let's get into it.
All right. Do you want me to go first this time since you went first last time?
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'll bring it home.
I have I'm very excited about my story today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know what you've got going on over there. I accidentally spilled what mine is, but...
Yeah, but only a little bit. It's okay.
I don't know what you got going on over there.
Well, you're about to find out. So, let's go. Let me pull up my notes.
Let's get into it.
Okay. Let me get a sip here. This is very hot tea. Piping hot tea, sis. Ow, God. But literally, though. It's very warm. Okay. So. Zach.
What's up?
Have you ever heard of the Goat Man?
No.
Oh, really? Not even
I don't think so.
Not even like the cryptid?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I had this little spiel here because I thought you knew who the cryptid was. I'll have to cover that one at a later date. Well, here's the thing. I was talking to my parents about some potential topics, and my stepdad asked me if I had heard of the Goat Man, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, because The cryptid is like, I want to say he's in Kentucky, maybe. I don't remember for sure. BuzzFeed Unsolved actually did an episode on him. It's very funny. Shane taunts the Goat Man, but the Goat Man like haunts this bridge, and he's like an evil presence that I think has a goat head. I don't remember. I put on BuzzFeed Unsolved and I just let their voices wash over me, and I don't always pay attention. Sorry, Shane and Ryan. I love you very much. But side note, I'm sorry. In the middle of my intro, we're off to a great start. One of my friends told me that like she listened to the podcast and was like, "You guys remind me of Shane and Ryan," and I was like, "Oh my god, thank you!" I was very, very excited about that.
We'll take it.
Coming for your brand, anyway. So I naturally, knowing about that goat man, assumed that they were asking about the cryptid. Like I thought he was talking about the goat man's bridge, but no. He said the goat man of Athens, and then I realized we were talking about two completely different things, so I was like, I need to know more. Okay. It is not a cryptid, as I had previously thought, but he was a real life person, and I gotta say, his shit is probably a wilder story than the goat man with the bridge.
Go
Okay, so it is my absolute delight to tell you today the story of the goat man Charles Chess McCartney. Okay,
on. Okay.
let's go.
Let's get into it.
So, as we have seen with a lot of these older stories, i.e., Mason Evans, i.e., everything really that we've covered so far, pretty much.
Bashaw.
Bashaw. Dates are really sketchy because this was like early 20th century. Not really a lot of records being kept, but we do know that the Goat Man was born sometime around the beginning of the 19th century. Wait, no, sorry, the 20th century. Wikipedia estimates the year as 1901. At the age of 14, he ran away from his family's farm in Iowa and he headed to New York. When he got to New York, he met and married a 24-year-old Spanish knife thrower. Like, that was her act. Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening. She was a knife juggler.
No. She's a knife thrower. Get it right!
Same thing. You juggle it and you throw it.
Yeah. Anyway, so once he was there, he met and married a 24-year-old Spanish knife thrower, and he became a part of her act in which he would act as a near-miss target. So she was just throwing knives at him. I'm assuming it's like the same sort of thing as, you know, those old cartoons where you see, I think they did it in like Robin Hood. There's like someone with an apple on their head and they try to like bow and arrow shoot the apple off. I'm pretty sure it was something like that, but with like throwing knives.
Cool. I always wanted to
So
learn how to do that.
yes, oh my god, when I was a kid, I actually did archery, and I would love to get back into it because it was so much fun. When I went to 4-H camp, me and my friend literally just sat at the archery range like all day, every day. I was pretty good at it. It's like the one sport that I actually enjoyed. That's a lie. I played tennis for a while. I was terrible at it, but anyway, not the point.
I played Wii tennis. Anyway.
I was bad at that too.
Not
So, ooh,
Continue,
Zach
sorry.
going to Wee Wimbledon. Wimbledon.
This is my resignation.
Stupid. Anyway, but yeah, I would have paid a lot of money to have seen this. Can you imagine it's like the 1900s and you're just diddy bopping around in New York and you find out that there's this woman just like throwing knives at a guy? You gotta go watch it.
Yeah.
So his wife eventually became pregnant with their only son, and the two of them decided that they would try to like settle down, stop throwing knives at each other, and start a farm together. And as was common at the time, the Great Depression came and decimated their business. I just realized
Yeah.
I did two Great Depression stories in a row. Sorry.
Great.
Hopefully this one is a little less depressing. But so they started their farm and it didn't really last. The farm fell apart. They didn't have any money. And one day before dawn, his wife left him. Apparently he went on to marry at least twice more, and it's really not clear. Like, it talks about his wives a couple other times later in this story, but I'm never really sure which one is which, and no names are given. So, if I'm talking about a wife, just assume that I have no fucking idea which wife it is, but it's probably not the one that left him after the farm fell through. So, apparently, McCartney was very fond of goats ever since his childhood, and he had dreamed of traveling in a goat cart with his family and acting as an itinerant preacher. His wife, again, I don't know which wife this was. It may have been the first, it could have been any of the other ones, hated this idea and she left him. Which is really sad for him, but also so funny to me because, well,
Yeah.
like, how did that go down? Like, oh, God, my husband is such a freak. He wants to go on a road trip with his goats. I'm fucking out of here.
I'm out of here.
Like, I want that. I want to go on a road trip with some goats.
Same.
I put here, fuck driving, right? Driving is scary. A goat cart won't crash into a Honda Accord on the interstate if I glance away from the road for a second. Those goats have your back.
A goat cart?
A goat cart. You're so done with me already, and
I am.
I'm not even like a paragraph in.
We're 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to quit.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I think I started that in the last episode, though. You were kind of done with our bullshit.
Listen, today is a day.
Mm-hmm.
We're going through it.
Anyway,
Goat cart. Keep going.
So there was this rumor that he traded his wife to another farmer for the goats.
For what?
For the goats. I don't know how many. Just apparently she was his collateral. Yeah, I mean,
listen, women are not property, they're not objects, they're none of that. But if I had a wife and someone was like, I'll give you 3 goats.
Yeah.
I'd be like, it's a bet.
Sorry. Hope you like farming.
Get over there, Monica.
Jesus. At some point in his adult life, McCartney was injured in a logging accident in which a falling tree left his arm twisted and it was limited in its functionality for the rest of his life. At the time, he was severely wounded enough that they really thought he was dead, and apparently his coworkers, like, took him to the Undertaker. But he woke up on the table when the Undertaker was putting the embalming needle in his arm. Like, popped his eyes open and said, I got goats to feed. That's not a quote. That's just my fan fiction. But he straight up woke up on the table. Can you fucking imagine being that Undertaker?
I can imagine being the Undertaker.
No, that's my job.
You're not freaking wrong.
I'm gonna be the next one. Right below that, I have, at this point, I feel like we should have a moment of silence because holy shit, this man has had a weird life.
Yeah.
Moment of silence, please. Okay, moving on.
Okay.
So, I don't know if it was spurred on by this near-death experience or what, but inevitably, he decided to follow his dream, and Chess got his goat cart. On his Wikipedia page, which, sidebar, I am just in awe of the fact that this man has a Wikipedia page. Mason didn't have one.
Yeah.
And doing this research made me feel like if the goat man of wherever the fuck has one, Mason should have one too. So maybe I need to learn how to use Wikipedia and make the Mason Evans Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
That's a story for another day, another task for
I
another
just
day.
thought of something cute.
What's up?
You know how people do wiki pages?
Yeah.
What if we did one for the podcast?
Aw.
That would be cute.
That would be fun. I feel like that would be a lot of work.
It would definitely be a lot of work.
Maybe someday we'll have dedicated fans and they'll want to make us one.
That is very cute. Anyway, continue.
Looking at you guys. Our last episode has like 5 views so far, so one of you guys
What are you
better
5?
pick it up. Okay, so, but anyway, on his Wikipedia page, it was said that McCartney was inspired very much by the book Robinson Crusoe, and he only carried 2 books with him at all times, a copy of Robinson Crusoe and a Bible. Apparently, the former of the 2 inspired him to dress himself and his son in goat skins, and also possibly validated his independent style of living and desire to live off the land, the kindness of strangers, and his beloved goats. According to an article from the Daily Post Athenian, quote, his wife and son sometimes accompanied him. This writer does not recall ever seeing his wife, but a male adult was almost always with him who was possibly his son. I believe his son's name was Albert. I know I list it later, but just so you know.
Okay.
Again, I don't know which wife this was or what the situation was with his family life, but that's not what matters here. What matters here is that this man roamed the country in a cart pulled by goats. The cart was a large, rickety iron-wheeled wagon that he piled high with objects he found on his travels. He carried with him a bed, a pot-bellied stove, lanterns, and, quote, lots of trash. Me too, bud. An
The
article.
renegade be like,
Yeah. An article in Nox TN today said, one wondered how it managed to stay together in one piece and not leave a trail of junk behind.
now that's the Mustang.
The Crustang. May he rest in peace. Um, the wagon was pulled around by a team of approximately 9 goats, with some tethered to the back as well, to occasionally push the cart or to serve as brakes while going down steep inclines. Sometimes, his herd of traveling goats was as many as 30. See, in the last episode, you were speechless because you were so mad. In this one, you are just jealous, right?
Yes, I'm picturing. You've seen you've played Mario Kart.
Oh, yeah. Who
I'm just
hasn't?
picturing this 50-year-old man with a twisted arm, crutching the wheel next to Mario and stuff.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
got a
Bunch of goats.
bunch of goats. Oh my god.
The goats were very sturdy animals, and they hauled him around 5 to 10 miles per day on average. Once, he even scaled Tennessee's Mont Eagle Mountain during a winter storm that had halted all other vehicles and traffic. Supposedly, he survived the frigid weather that night by pulling a couple of extra goats into the wagon with him to snuggle. I just want to add here, because I don't remember if I put it in, every article that I read about him said that he smelled really bad because he was always snuggling with his goats.
It's not horsepower. It's goat power.
This man drove the first Dodge Ram. You're about to push me out of my chair, aren't you?
No, I would never.
I am uncomfortable with the energy that we've created in the studio today.
Okay, keep going. Oh, I just smacked the microphone. Just keep going. Just keep going.
All right. Babies and female goats rode in the wagon with him while the males did the brunt of the work. He would keep in... What?
We're still talking about goats.
We are about to be talking about goats for a long time, Zach.
He was just going downtown square and people were hopping in the cart.
Oh!
Go for rides.
He was just collecting passengers.
Like when the president kisses a baby, he's got it in the cart.
Just put it in the goat cart. All the goats had... Oh, I'm sorry, I missed a passage. He would keep and care for sick or wounded goats, including one that did not have any front legs and learned to hop around like a kangaroo. Can you imagine? I've seen cats like that and dogs. Can you imagine a fucking goat? That would be something... You know how in a lot of Christian imagery there's Black Phillip? Can you imagine Black Phillip but with no front legs? The movie The Witch would have been a lot different if that goat didn't have any front legs. Have you seen The Witch? Just checking.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Churning baby butter. Anyway. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
That opening scene. Okay, you looked at me like you didn't know what I was talking about. I was like, I think we are thinking about different movies now. Oh, this is such a weird...
Are we going to make it
vibe.
through this?
I don't know.
I don't think we are.
I'm over halfway. All the goats had names. One of his favorites was named Billy Bluehorns, and Billy lived almost 30 years. Chess kept the wagon to the sides of the roads whenever they traveled, quote, so while he may have slowed traffic, he rarely ever stopped it. McCartney was a very friendly, chatty man, and he often stopped for photos with people who were curious about his lifestyle. He made a living selling scrap metal that he collected along the road, postcards of him and his wagon, and donations he accepted for his, quote, free-thinking Christian mission, which was based in Georgia. His diet consisted mostly of goat milk or food, either donated or purchased with monetary donations, and every night he would camp out on farms or other welcoming landowners' properties. While there, he would milk and care for the goats at the camp, and he also lit a campfire, which he always topped off with a car tire. I don't know if it was the same tire or if he just would find a tire and rotate them out every night. I'd imagine he couldn't burn through a whole tire in a night, but I don't know. The reasoning for that was to keep pests away. To quote the Daily Post Athenian, he told everyone that the burning tire kept away bugs and mosquitoes, but in actuality, the tires smelled better than the goats. For the most part, he seemed to live a very happy and very free life. When I first heard this story, like I said, I was told he was known as the Goat Man of Athens, but I really wouldn't say that he was from any one place in particular. Like, he traveled all over the country. But apparently he did frequent, like, the Knoxville area, and he would come down to, like, Inglewood and Etowah, and he did go to Athens sometimes. Um, Knox TN today stated, when word spread that the Goat Man was traveling through, many would gather, mostly out of curiosity. He usually stopped at the edge of Knox County, close to the Dixie Lee Junction, and would build his bonfire about dusk. Children stood and gazed at him in amazement while the adults engaged in interesting conversations. He would share his lifetime testimony and proceed to preach of the imminent second coming and warnings of everlasting doom for sinners.
Period.
Um, I have another quote that said, the The day after McCartney had left the area, it wasn't uncommon for someone to spot the Goat Man's farewell message, a sign somewhere along the road that would simply read, "Prepare to meet thy God." Oh,
I
oh,
have no words.
oh,
I love
Charles.
this. I want to be this
I
man.
know, it's fucking wild. There were a lot of people who claimed that he was rich, and there were some legends that it was bad luck to harm him. Unfortunately, though, and the last bit of this story does get a little bit sad. I'm sorry. People uh, did harm him sometimes. That ended up being what pushed him into retirement. He kept getting mugged with increasing frequency in his later years, and once he did finally retire from traveling, he lived in an old school bus in Twiggs County, Georgia, near Jeffersonville with his son. They had been living in a wooden shack, but it ended up burning down. And the property had no electricity or running water. It had an outhouse and a concrete tomb that was said to be the resting place of McCartney's father and stepmother. However, in 1984, McCartney became smitten with the actress Morgan Fairchild and decided to return to his traveling roots and hitchhike out to Los Angeles to try and woo her. I'm going to show you a picture of him later, and I it'll really paint the picture of this man love struck with this glamorous Hollywood actress. Just like, I gotta go. She's gonna fall for me. And I bet she would have if he'd have made it. He didn't end up meeting her. He basically as soon as he got to LA, he was mugged again and decided that he was done. So, that was in 1984. 3 years later, in 1987, he was admitted to a nursing home in Macon, Georgia, and sadly, in 1998, his son was tragically shot and killed on their property in Twiggs County. McCartney was devastated, and he requested that his son be buried in the tomb on the property with his parents, but it was found to be in such disrepair that the city of Jeffersonville donated a cemetery plot to them, and his son, Albert Jean, was laid to rest there. His murder was never solved. Nobody knows what happened. Like, there's just no information on it. And unfortunately, less than 6 months after his son died, Ches McCartney passed away at the nursing home. He was estimated to be about 97 years old, but he claimed that he was 106 at the time of his death. Apparently, he very much had that personality of like everything was a tall tale. So
Yeah.
I
I could
love
kind of.
that.
I mean,
Like he's
yeah.
basically a living legend.
Oh
He's
yeah.
got a very Paul Bunyan vibe. Instead of a big blue ox, he's got like 87 goats.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, how many goats does it take to equal one blue ox?
At least 7, I'd say.
Yeah, and he had like 9, so he's doing better than
That's
Babe.
good.
In his lifetime, Ches McCartney, the Goat Man, traveled more than 100,000 miles in his cart.
Wow.
Um, he claimed to have visited every state except Hawaii because the goats couldn't swim that far, and if they could, quote, they'd just end up eating the grass skirts off the hula dancers anyway. There were a great many stories and newspaper articles written about him, and many of them were compiled into a book and published in 1994 titled America's Goat Man, Mr. Ches McCartney by Daryl Patton, which I don't have a copy of, and I didn't look up anything from that book specifically, but I would love to have a copy of that for our collection.
Oh yeah.
Um, Fun fact, there was a character in the Cormac McCarthy novel Suttree, which is set in Knoxville, Tennessee, that is based on the Goat Man. I don't know if they ever met in person, but like his obviously his fame reached Mr. McCarthy.
Right.
which I thought it was funny also because the goat man is named Charles McCartney, and then Cormac McCarthy wrote a book about him.
Yeah, very close.
Um, I'm sorry, I just thought about this dumb joke that my brother told me one time.
Is it as dumb as the
It's maybe dumber than the frog joke.
God?
Um, it was something like, what do you call what is a race car driver's favorite book or something like that? And the punchline was The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Yeah, I screenshotted it. I don't, he said that to me in college, and I was like walking to class, and I got out of my car as he sent it to me, and I laughed out loud. And some dude was passing me on the sidewalk, and he like turned and looked at me because I scared the shit out of him. It was, my brother has an interesting mind. Whether in written media or just in the minds and the hearts of those who witnessed the Goat Man on his travels, the legend of Chess McCartney lives on, and I truly hope that it has brought you all as much joy to hear about it as it did me in researching it. Because I don't think I stopped smiling the entire time I was researching. I mean, except for the part where his son got killed. That was really sad. But every time I read something new, I was just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, is this real? Oh my god, this is real? Oh my god, this was a real person?
I love that.
I know. He was magical. Also, I'm gonna show you a picture of him.
Please.
Okay, so get ready. There he is.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. There's a better picture than the one I tried to show you. And there's his prepare to meet thy God sign.
I love him.
I know. He's wild. Like amazing. So yeah, that's the Goat Man.
Okay, so here's the issue.
Yep.
Keeping it on brand. Here's my issue.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Do you need some Tums?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I got some chalk right there. You can just eat that. It's the same thing.
Yeah. For real. When I was a kid,
Uh-huh.
I couldn't eat Tums because they made me gag
Yeah.
because of the consistency, and if I drink Pepto, it makes it worse.
I like Tums.
I do now. Well, I
Yeah.
don't like them. I can tolerate them,
Yeah.
but I don't like them. Okay, so here's the issue. We told ourselves what, a week ago,
Uh-huh.
that we were going to record 2 episodes today.
Uh-huh. Yeah, let's check the receipts, because I texted you last night. And let's see. Where is it?
Oh my god.
I said I'm actually finished with my notes for once, LMFAO, at 9:45 p.m. and you said I just started. Bye.
So here's what happened. So I decided that I was going to spend the day yesterday, because this has been my weekend so far. Because I'm on my 5-day weekend. It's my last 5-day here where I'm working. So I was like, on Friday, I'm going to spend the majority of my day packing because we're moving.
Right.
And then on Saturday, we did a yard sale yesterday. I was like, we're going to do that in the morning, and then the afternoon, I'm going to, spend the entire afternoon coming up with my topics and like doing all the research for them. I had to wake up at 6 a.m. yesterday for the yard sale.
Yeah.
And so by the time I got home, I was like, okay, I'm going to get in bed. I'm going to, pull out all my stuff. I'm going to do this. I took a nap.
How long did you nap? Because you disappeared for a while.
It was a couple hours. It was a hot minute I was asleep. And then I woke up and was like, okay, well, let me do my thing. And then I did my brushy notes and was like, I was trying to watch the documentary at the same time as doing these notes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't happening for me because ADHD brain, I couldn't focus on the screen and also what I was watching.
Multitasking is the devil.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. So then I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to take a break. And then finally I did circle back and like pretty much finished my brushy notes. But then I was like, I still have a whole other episode to plan for. But it was like midnight,
Yeah.
and that's my bedtime.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, okay, well, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll do it before I leave. Did I do that?
No.
No. So here's the deal. I'm going to be freeballing this. Okay? We're going to be pulling a lot from Wikipedia.
As we do.
We're going to be. I'm going to do my best to paraphrase it as I go, though. So it's not just me reading Wikipedia to you through a microphone. So, without further ado, and also I've got a couple of links to some websites regarding a more local
Okay.
perspective.
Hmm.
But we're going to talk about Bigfoot, baby. We're going to
Yes.
talk about Bigfoot. So, cryptids are something that, we just talked about one, the Goat Man, which
Yeah.
I still don't know anything about. That was like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. I'll talk about him at a later day.
Sure.
Because it's a fun.
But cryptids are super cool. The lore to them and just learning about them is so much fun. Our office has Mothman all over it. All the red eyes are just watching us at all times.
Now,
the Flatwoods monster.
I was gonna say you got to give credit to the Flatwoods monster. That's
I have a Bigfoot sign behind me. Like, we're decked out, okay? So I kind of wanted to talk about Bigfoot today because I definitely want us to cover cryptids at some point.
yeah.
But I feel like Bigfoot's like the big one.
Well, it's in the name.
He's the big one. I'm just not even going to acknowledge any more jokes that you give me today.
Aw. I worked so hard on them.
This is Is this how you feel when
Yeah.
I'm on my bullshit?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess it's okay.
You got to get what you get.
Well, he's like hate it. So he's like the big cryptid. Like, he's the one that everybody like thinks of, everyone knows about him. So I felt like that was a good introduction, but B, I just kind of wanted to learn a little bit more about him
Yeah,
myself
sure.
because I mean, basic knowledge of Bigfoot is that he's this like humanoid shaped maybe ape man
Right.
that's wandering around in the wilderness. But that's pretty much the base knowledge that everybody has of the guy,
Yeah.
right? So I kind of wanted to dive into it a little bit.
Okay.
And a quick side note.
Okay.
Anytime I think of Bigfoot, I think about that Smosh special that they did, or that Smosh episode they did 2009. Shane Dawson was in it.
I don't think I ever really watched Smosh, honestly.
I did. I was a big Smosh fan. One time me and Kim stayed up, and this was like 2014. We stayed up all night and put nary a dent into the content of Smosh.
Yeah, they've been in it for a long time.
Yeah, they started in 2005.
Like what YouTube?
2005.
That was the year it started. That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, they've been in it.
Literally like the beginning. That's crazy.
But so anyway, basically in that video, Bigfoot is gay, and they like,
Oh my God! Is that where all that started?
maybe. But Bigfoot's gay, and they're like, we gotta trap him, and so they put like Playgirl magazine on a tree stump, and they throw a net at him,
That's so
and
funny.
it just turns out to be Shane Dawson. Foreshadowing, I
Oh
guess.
no!
But anyway,
That's a much scarier monster.
truly. But without further ado, let's get into it.
Get into it.
Oh, get into it. So, Bigfoot, or also Lee. Whoa, we're gonna start over.
How's that going for you so far? The free balling.
Not so good. Let me tell you that. Okay, let's start over. So, Bigfoot, also commonly referred to as Sasquatch in Canadian and American folklore, is an ape-like creature that is said to inhabit forests of North America. Supposed evidence of the existence of Bigfoot includes a number of visual sightings, disputed video and audio recordings, photographs, and casts of large footprints. Some of these are speculated or known to be hoaxes. Bigfoot has become an icon within the fringe subculture of cryptozoology
Represent.
and an enduring element of pop culture. Folklorists trace Bigfoot to a combination of factors of sources.
Okay.
So these include folk belief among Native American tribes
Mm.
across the continent and folklore surrounding the European wild man figure.
Oh, okay.
Um, Belief among loggers, miners, trappers, and prospectors often include stories of a hairy wildman.
That
Um,
was just Mason.
it was Mason, the Goat Man.
They were just having fun.
They were having fun. They were doing
They
their.
were on a they were on a girls' trip.
They were on their way to get a pink drink from Starbucks and a cake pop.
Cake pop. I think if Mason Evans ate one single cake pop, he would die on the spot.
Have you seen those like TikToks where it's like me going back in time to give Christopher Columbus a hit off my THC cart, and then it's just like they're so fucking funny.
Oh my god.
Uh, oh my god. The majority of mainstream scientists have historically discounted the existence of Bigfoot, considering it to be the result of a combination of folklore, misidentification, and a hoax rather than a living animal. Other creatures of relatively similar descriptions are alleged to inhabit various regions of North America and throughout the world, such as the skunk ape of southeastern United States, the almus, the yeti, the urin in Asia, and the Australian yowie, all of which, like Bigfoot, are ingrained in the cultures of their regions.
The Australian what now?
Yowie?
No comment.
Is that not what it's called?
I don't know, but it's there's another Yowie that exists.
Oh, fuck! Oh, no!
That's the gay Bigfoot.
Hold on. I just want to know
How
if
is it
that's
spelled?
Yowie.
Okay, yeah.
It won't pull it up in Google Translate.
What, Yowie? Like the Australian one?
Yeah.
What if it, I mean, is it actually like a term, or is it my question is, do you think it's actually a word that means
Stop.
something else, or
Yowie.
do it again?
Yowie.
What was that? Was so.
Yowie.
Yowie. Yowie.
Okay, I'm done. Okay.
She's like, did I fucking stutter?
Yowie, yowie, yowie.
Yowie zowie. Okay,
Okay, so let's get a good description going.
I'm excited.
Okay.
Let's go.
Of the Bigfoot.
Just how big are those feet?
How big are your feet?
I wear like a women's 8, men's 7.
Okay, work.
Why? Don't put that on my wiki feet page, by the way.
Our fans are gonna make us a wiki, and it's gonna be like age, location, star sign, shoe size.
And it's just gonna be mine. Well, now hold on. You just asked me mine. What about yours?
I'm not at liberty to say.
How big are them hooves?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Fuck you.
They're 13.
Okay, thank you. Don't leave me out here alone in my foot wilderness.
Bigfoot's been at it for years, baby. All right. So, thousands of people have claimed to see Bigfoot, which is most often described as a large, muscular, bipedal ape-like creature.
Ooh, muscular.
Roughly 1.8 to 2.7 meters, so 6 to 9 feet tall, and covered in black, dark brown, or dark reddish hair. Some descriptions have creatures standing as tall as 3 to 4.6 meters, 10 to 15 foot tall. A pungent, foul-smelling odor is sometimes associated with reports of the creature, commonly described as similar to rotten eggs or a skunk.
Mm.
The face of a Bigfoot is described as human-like, with a flat nose and visible lips. Common descriptions also include broad shoulders, no visible neck, and long arms. The eyes are... Okay,
We're
for
just
some,
gonna gloss over that.
for some context, I was talking with my hands and I just like grazed M's knee, and
Just
instead of
started patting it reassuringly.
instead of just like stopping or apologizing or anything, I just patted it while I continued to read.
Well, it's what we do to Brownie, so I think that was just what happened. Speak of the devil, there he
God.
is.
Oh my god! So the eyes are commonly described as dark in color and have been alleged to glow yellow or red at night. However, eye shine is not present in humans or any known great apes, so its proposed explanations inside a forest could be an owl, a raccoon, a possum, a dog, a cat.
Okay.
It could be anything. The enormous footprints for which the creature is named are claimed to be as large as 610 millimeters, 24 inches long, and 200 millimeters, so 8 inches wide.
Wow.
Some footprint casts have also contained claw marks, making it likely to have come from animals known as bears, which have 5 toes and claws.
Animals known as bears.
That's what it says. Animals known as bears.
I don't know why that got me. You know, you ever heard of them?
You ever heard of a bear?
I haven't.
All right. Well, so we'll go into the sightings now.
Okay.
There's a whole section on Wikipedia about the origin stories.
Yeah.
His Joker origin stories.
I actually do know a little bit about like how it started in Seattle, I think.
This, for the majority of it, is like Native American stuff.
Oh, okay.
So, goodness gracious, I'm not going to get into all that.
Yeah.
Because we could be here for forever.
Yeah.
But some regional names.
Okay.
Okay. So in Florida, he's known as the skunk ape. In Ohio, the grass man.
Oh.
The folk monster, Fouke, folk monster.
Okay.
The wood booger in Virginia. Love that one.
Wood booger. That's great.
The monster of Whitehall in Whitehall, New York.
Oh.
Momo in Missouri. Honey Island swamp monster in Louisiana. Dewey Lake monster in Michigan. And the Mogollon monster in Arizona. And the Big Muddy monster in southern Illinois.
Wow. And these are all just like regional big feet? Do you think they're like the same type, or are they all, do you think they have like different like differences like big cats do, you know, where you have like tigers and lions? Do
See,
you
I
think
don't
they're
know if
different?
it's like a subspecies.
Yeah.
I like idea going on. Let's see. Yeah, it says that it's just like regional names,
Huh.
like that they'll call them if they see them.
I love that.
Yeah. The term wood ape is also used by some means as a way to deviate from the perceived mythical connotation surrounding the name Bigfoot.
Okay.
Other names include bushman, tree man, and wild man.
Okay.
Some alleged behavior to note. Some Bigfoot researchers claim that Bigfoot supposedly throws rocks as a territorial display for communication.
Nice.
Skeptics argue that these behaviors are easily hoaxed and can just be made
Yeah,
up. and
sure.
Yeah, I mean you can make up
Anybody
anything.
can throw a rock.
I can throw a rock.
I can throw one right now.
Do it.
It's a pretty big rock.
What if you just pulled a rock out?
Well, there's one right here.
I forgot about her. Is that the one that broke? Just
Yeah.
wiped. Oh my god.
Yeah. Knocked the shelf down.
It just wiped it out, is what it did.
It did.
Ugh. Additionally, structures of broken and twisted foliage,
Thank you.
seemingly placed in specific areas, have been attributed to Bigfoot behavior. In some reports, lodgepole pine and other small trees have been observed bent, uprooted, or stacked in patterns such as weaved and crisscrossed, leading some to theorize that they are potential territorial markings.
Interesting.
Some instances also have included deer skeletons being suspended high in trees.
Oh.
That's kind of spooky.
That is very spooky.
In Washington State, a team of amateur Bigfoot researchers called the Olympic Project claimed they had discovered a collection of nests, and they had primatologists study them with the conclusion that they appeared to be created by a primate.
Oh.
So, in Washington State,
Yeah.
primates. I don't think there's any primates.
I don't think so. But I mean,
But then again, I don't know. I'm not a geologist, zoologist.
a geologist. Yeah, knowledge of rocks will really help you learn about the monkeys of
Shit.
Washington
I meant a
State.
geologist. Is that what I just said?
Yeah, that's what you said.
What's geology?
That's rocks.
Geography. I'm not.
That's locations.
What's that though?
Geography?
What's the ologist equivalent of that? Is there one?
Geologist?
That's-
No, that's a rock. No.
That's-
Fuck. Oh my god, wow, we are so intelligent. We are unmatched.
That's why I kept saying
No,
it.
yeah, I don't know. Geography, geographer,
Sure.
and then
Well,
geology, geologist.
I'm not a geographer.
Yeah,
I'm not a geographist.
sure. Sure.
Geologist. Okay.
Hanging by a thread.
2 episodes in one day? No.
This has very much been an experience. It's been an experiment. It's been a learning curve.
Eye-opening.
Yeah.
I can't handle 2 of these sessions at once, especially when the topic beforehand is so, like, mind-numbing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway, Jesus Christ. So many of these alleged sightings are reported to occur at night, leading some speculation that the creature may possess some nocturnal tendencies. Maybe that's why we ain't seeing them. They're dark and in the woods at night when we're asleep.
Yeah. For sure.
Use your head on that one. God. However, mainstream science largely disputes the claims known as the apes, including humans are, I don't know what that word means, but basically, primates and humans aren't nocturnal creatures.
Right.
So, why would this random primate, if that's what he is, exhibit these nocturnal tendencies?
Sure.
It'd be very off given how every other species of primate and human don't do that.
Yeah.
I know. The diet, basically, it's a very debated issue. Some people claim that he's an omnivore. Some say that he steals livestock and eats the animals.
Yeah, because you said that thing about the deer skeletons in the trees being possible
Yeah.
evidence.
So bite marks off of bones. Like there's a whole ordeal there. Alleged interactions with humans. Let's get into it. So, many Native American cultures traditionally fear and respect these creatures. An incident in 1924, often referred to as the Battle of Ape Canyon, tells of miners being attacked by a large, hairy ape man that hurled rocks onto their cabin roof from a nearby cliff after one of the miners allegedly shot one with a rifle.
Oh my god.
A miner was supposedly knocked unconscious by rocks that crashed through the roof, and the creature slammed into the cabin walls, causing the entire structure to shake.
That is nuts.
More coal, everybody. Bringing it home.
Oh my god, we can't escape.
In Arkansas, Fouke, that one from before.
Okay.
In 1971, a family reported that a large hair-covered creature startled a woman after reaching through a window. This alleged incident caused panic in the area.
He just wanted some of her M&Ms. He was just trying to get a little. Reached in the window.
I would startle a woman reaching through a window if she had a nice bowl of Andes sitting out.
Yeah. Oh, and Andy's mint. I mean, they said he smelled bad. Maybe he was just trying to freshen up.
Maybe. She left her Altoids out. What else do you expect?
I said smelled bad and Brownie stood up. Do you feel attacked, son? I feel like I should say, as we're recording this one, he has sat between us the entire time. He is not having us just sit here all day.
No, he's over it.
And we took him out for a pee break and everything between episodes. He's just very, like, he came over and started fucking licking my knee. I had to try very hard to not say anything, but I really wanted to tell him to stop it.
God.
You're interrupting our workflow. Heathen. Anyway.
God. Okay. According to the BFRO, which is just essentially like a Bigfoot, it's an organization that hunts Bigfoot.
Oh.
And keeps statistics on them. There have been no credible modern reports of any humans being killed by a Bigfoot, but harassment and stalking-like behaviors toward people have been reported.
Oh my god.
The 2021 Hulu documentary film entitled Sasquatch describes marijuana farmers telling stories of Bigfoots harassing and killing people within the Emerald Triangle in the 1970s through the 1990s.
Does Bigfoot hate weed?
Apparently, he's a Karen. T. And specifically the alleged murder of 3 migrant workers in 93.
Okay. That sounds like a cover-up to me.
Period.
Yeah, sure, let's blame it on a cryptid.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Investigative journalist David Holthouse attributes stories to illegal drug operations using the local Bigfoot lore to scare away competition, specifically superstitious Mexican immigrants. and that the high rate of murder and missing persons in the area is attributed to human actions. So
I'm sorry, the more you talked about that, the more my brain was just going because I was like, oh my god, these people are lying and using Bigfoot to cover up their atrocities. Oh my god.
imagine not having a good alibi and you just went, it was Bigfoot,
And people just take it.
take it and run with it.
That's appalling. How dare you say that Bigfoot?
Well, I don't know, because I mean, I have to wonder, because I don't know much about the chupacabra.
Chupacabras aren't that big.
But I'm saying though, like if they were specifically superstitious Mexican immigrants,
Right.
maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. I don't know many similarities between the two. I just remember that one Scooby Doo movie.
Which is clearly a good benchmark for real life.
I don't know what's been going on with me lately.
You've
I'm
been
just
very much on a Scooby Doo kick.
I have been. I watched Scooby Doo Meets the Boo Brothers like 2 nights ago.
That himbo ghost.
That himbo ghost. God bless. There's also been reports of dogs allegedly being killed by Bigfoot. I'm not going to dwell on this.
No, Brownie, you better watch your back.
But there's 911 calls of like large black creatures.
Yeah, that could be a Mothman. Apparently, I don't know if this is in like any of the like official lore that you would read, but I remember one time when I was a kid. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, you're good.
I remember I used to download these apps where I could like read about cryptids on my little Google phone, and there was one that was just like an ebook you could download, and there's no way I could find it to this day. But I remember reading some like Mothman sightings, and one of them was these kids. This is some animal stuff, so if you don't want to hear that, maybe skip ahead a couple seconds. But they found this baby deer in their yard that had 3 like puncture holes in its side, and Mothman supposedly has like 3 talons like that, and they were just like perfect circular punctures. And they were like, these people basically tried to be like, oh, well, it got attacked by a dog, and they were like, no, no. And then Mothman, they were like playing near a cornfield or something, and their soccer ball went in the field, and apparently Mothman like stabbed it like that because they like saw Mothman, and then they found their ball later, and it had like puncture wounds in it that were the same. And I was like, Mothman was just trying to play soccer. He just wanted to hang out with those kids.
He did a handball, realized what he had done, and he got mad.
Yeah.
God.
Anyway.
Now I kind of want to get into some local sightings. Now that we kind of have a general understanding of Bigfoot, what he's all about, what he be doing.
What he stands for.
So, right off the gate, we got this. This is an article from News Channel 5 in Nashville.
Okay.
It was published on July 31st of 2019.
Okay.
So, a couple years ago now.
Yeah.
An investigation is underway after a gunshot was fired over the weekend at Mammoth Cave National Park. The shot was fired, a couple of campers reported, after a man allegedly had a Bigfoot sighting.
Oh my god.
Brad Ginn tells LEX18 that he was camping with his girlfriend Sunday when they were awakened by a man and his son shining flashlights into their tent. This was just after 1 a.m. The man explained to Jen that something had destroyed his campsite and that he kept hearing strange sounds, so he was going to investigate it because this was quote-unquote Bigfoot country.
Oh my god.
Jen's girlfriend also reported hearing a strange whooping noise and that it had been keeping her awake. The man was then warned the couple that if they heard him fire a shot, they should run. A few minutes later, they heard the man exclaim loudly, "There he is!" before firing a shot in the direction of their tent.
Oh my god.
When Jen confronted the shooter, he said that the strange man claimed he had seen Bigfoot pop out from behind his tent and that he had fired to scare off the creature.
This man sounds drunk.
Yeah. Jen says that the couple had their dog with them and that he hadn't reacted to anything near their tent other than the loud pop of the gunshot. Needless to say, Jen packed up their site and they hiked 5 miles back to their car.
Yeah.
Basically, it just kind of goes on to say that law enforcement was contacted. The dude got in trouble for violating like firearm laws.
Right.
And as for Bigfoot, he has appeared to have gotten away unscathed once again. So,
Good for him.
good for him, you know. There also was a Boy Scout troop in Robertson County
Okay.
that their whole spiel or their whole thing is that they do their Boy Scout stuff, but they also hunt Bigfoot.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Like
they
official Boy Scouts?
yeah, they're like Boy Scouts. Let's see what their troop is. Boy Scout Troop 454.
Oh my god.
So, deep in the woods of Robertson County, there's a group of Boy Scouts on a 4-year search for a large hairy creature that has attracted the attention of the national television program Finding Bigfoot.
Wow.
Producers from Animal Planet's show, who had been scouting areas around Nashville to shoot for an upcoming episode, paid a visit to Boy Scout Troop 454 at their den just west of Springfield on Sunday, January 24th. This article was published in 2016.
Yeah.
So they visited them on January 24th to see firsthand what kind of Bigfoot evidence the boys had collected. Their scoutmaster's name was Joe.
Biden.
It's Joe Bilyeu. I'm going to say Bilyeu. It's Bilyeu.
It's Biden. It's his alias.
What if I scrolled up and it was just a picture of
But
Biden with like
him, but with like a really bad fake mustache on.
yeah, it's the glasses with the big nose and the
Yeah,
mustache.
the beagle puss.
So Bilyeu said that his troop has gone out on numerous expeditions. I'm ignoring you, trying to find out if a Tennessee Bigfoot really exists. Each investigative adventure has consisted of camping, horseback riding, canoeing, cave exploring, as they have researched each reported sighting of Bigfoot in the area. So they're having fun,
Right.
but they're also doing their normal Boy Scout stuff.
Learning life skills.
Yeah, they're learning how to tie knots, make campfires, canoeing,
Yeah.
all that jazz, but with a purpose.
That's crazy.
That's how the Boy Scouts should be. Let's reform the Boy Scouts again.
Can we join? Are we too old?
You can be an Eagle Scout at any age, I think. It's kind of the same thing.
I don't really know how to tie knots very well. That's a lie. I have like a background in weaving. I can tie a knot. We're seriously looking up the qualifications now.
At what age can you join the Boy Scouts? I'd say we're probably too old.
Yeah. Maybe 25 this year. There's no way.
Shit. At least 10 years old, but no more than 18.
Oh, balls. All right. Yeah. I really missed the boat on that one.
Eagle Scout requirements. Oh, this is 3 pages long. I ain't got time for that. Okay.
Yeah.
I will post on Twitter what the qualifications are to be an Eagle Scout, and I will let you know if we're applying or not.
And if you are an Eagle Scout and you want
Call
to recruit us, please give us an email at tellusyourissue@gmail.com.
Seriously. Okay. So, Bilyeu says, we started about 4 years ago researching the Bigfoot sightings. Most locally has been along Sulphur Fork Creek, where we discovered 2 large footprints and casted them in plaster. The footprints collected by the scouts are about 17 inches long and appeared along the banks of the Sulphur Fork Creek in western Robertson County, Bilyeu said. The producers of the Animal Planet Network have been surveying the wooded area in around Nashville, not just Robertson County, to find the best reports to film, according to one of the show's producers. The producers came here and looked at the evidence books that we had, Bilyeu said. We toured some farms and the locations where the Club Scouts meets. They're scouting where they could film for a future episode. Basically, at this point in the article, the producers just kind of talk more about their show and in depth.
Yeah.
But I don't think they got on the show.
Oh.
Which is kind of sad. But it's still kind of interesting, though, to me that these Boy Scouts were just out in the woods looking for Bigfoot. I really want that.
Yeah. Can you imagine if they did find it?
I want that for them. Troop 454, which that was in 2016. That was 7 years ago. 6 years ago.
I don't want to think about that.
I think a majority of that troop might have already aged out. Because
probably
if they've already looking for them for 4 years, we got to say that if they all started when they were 10, then they're 14. That was 6 years ago. They've already aged out.
Sure, but I'm sure that they've taken that with them in their lives beyond.
It's just a bunch of nerdy kids that are just looking for Bigfoot now as 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
Fuck,
well,
that's us.
There was really though. There was a Bigfoot sighting recently, like near us, or like near our hometown anyway.
Let's get into it.
Do you have that one?
So I don't have that one, but I did the BFRO that I mentioned earlier, that Bigfoot organization. They had a list of all the Bigfoot sightings in any state where there's been one, pretty much, and they have specifics of county and when and all that stuff.
Nice. Okay.
I went to double check because I obviously knew what county that sighting was in near us.
Yeah.
The number didn't go up any.
Oh, okay.
So, let's see. It hadn't been updated in years.
Yeah.
So
sidebar. I I was talking about that because when that happened, it was right before Adam came to visit, and so I was joking about like, well, when you get here, we got to go find Bigfoot. And I told our friend when he was here that that had happened, and he goes, "Oh, that was probably just my father-in-law. He runs around out there a lot. He's a big hairy guy." And I was like, "Are you serious?" And I thought he was kidding, and I think he was genuinely kind of serious. It's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if that's disappointing or more thrilling."
Yeah.
Because in the video, there was a video, and he like turns and looks at the camera and then drops down on all fours and starts like sprinting like an
Sprinting.
animal. So if that is his father-in-law,
He's got some
that's
splaining
pretty
to do.
impressive.
I don't know. I've done bear crawls like that before.
What is a bear crawl?
So I did it for football and like conditioning and stuff. But essentially, you get on like all fours and you like
Oh, okay.
you just like crawl around. You crawl up a hill. That
Okay.
sucks.
Yeah, it sounds like it sucks.
So bad.
It
My poor knees couldn't take it.
I was one of those kids that would like run around on all fours and pretend to be a horse.
Jail.
Hey, fuck you.
Let's see. I had a nice little picture of the entire United States and all the sightings and
Yeah.
stuff. But according to the BFRO.net .net website. I thought I said .net.com. According to BFRO.net, Tennessee has a total of 102
Wow.
sightings. The most recent one reported being in Dyer County, a sighting by a motorist in a Thick River.
Run it back.
Sighting by a motorist in Thick River Bottom, 75 miles northeast of Memphis.
Thick River Bottom, isn't that song by Queen?
Yeah. After that, April 2020 in Cumberland County, possible sighting at base of Black Mountain outside of Crab Orchard.
At Black Mountain?
Mhm.
I've been there. That'd be a good place for a Bigfoot to hide.
But I will post whenever we post all of our sources and stuff. I'll post a link to this sighting chart because it literally lists every single county like
Wow.
and shows you
Yeah.
if there's been a sighting, when it was, the last time it was updated, the
Yeah.
whole shebang.
That's cool.
And it's got one for, I won't say every state, but it's got one for most states where
Yeah.
there's a sighting. So it's kind of cool. You can flip through, see if there's any Bigfoot sightings that have appeared near you.
Yeah.
And if you have seen a Bigfoot, there's the ability to submit them.
Yes.
So you can submit your own reports and evidence and all that good stuff, and it can be added to the database, and you can help keep track of Bigfoot with
That's so
us.
cool. The Bigfoot census.
Oh my god. Let me see if I can find that map just real quick. There it is.
Oh.
So there's the legend on the side, but
Oh wow. Okay, so Tennessee's kind of up there.
Tennessee's up there. The most I believe is in California, which
Interesting.
California, well actually it's Washington State.
Yeah, that tracks.
Washington State. Big up there,
Because
but
I think he's technically like the official cryptid of Washington.
yeah, I think so as well. And also, I mean, aside from like obviously the Native American mythology, but like you said, I believe that it started in Washington, so that makes a lot more sense too.
Yeah.
To go off of, because I don't remember if I read it or not, or if I just skimmed over it when I was reading, but the majority of Bigfoot activity, quote unquote, is obviously like the Washington, Oregon,
Like the Pacific Northwest.
the Pacific Northwest, and also the southeast.
Yeah, okay.
I thought you said west. So there's also some in Texas, a lot in Texas, 246 in Texas.
That's scary.
Yeah, whoops. I'm trying to see what has the least, but I also don't know maps.
Oh, like you don't know all the states just by sight?
Yeah, 5
I
in,
don't
I'm
either.
gonna say that's not New York.
Which one?
Shit, that one there? Oh, wait, no, that's
This
Rhode
one?
Island.
The little square one is Rhode Island.
Yeah,
That
so there's 5 in Rhode Island. Which one's that one?
next to it?
The one above it? It kind of looks like a little boot on her.
That one's Massachusetts.
Okay, work.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's 35 in Massachusetts.
Wow.
Well, that was Bigfoot, baby.
What a ride. I really hope that Bigfoot Boy Scout troop find something someday.
Me too. I hope that like it's still like the same like den master or whatever,
Yeah.
and that he just like kept it going. Because I mean, well, okay, so in order for my theory to work, saying that if they were, you know, 10 years old when they started, 14,
Uh-huh.
6 years ago, but I mean, that would have to imply that every single person that started in that troop joined at the exact same time at 10 years old.
Right.
They've had no one new join the troop, so I would say probably new people joined in, and that probably could still be a very.
Yeah.
It's just like a recurring cycle.
Sure.
Like new people join in, they learn about the Bigfoot thing, they help out with the Bigfoot thing, and then the older people will age out, but the new people that come
Yeah.
in when they turn 10
For
will
sure. For sure.
help with the Bigfoot
It's crazy.
search. So I'm kind of jealous. I never did Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to, but not enough to care. And also, I don't even know if there was any Boy Scout troops around here.
There were some down in Tellico, at least. I know that much. But I think my brother was maybe a Cub Scout for a minute, and
Interesting.
I think a friend of mine was, well, a friend of ours was, I think, a Cub Scout, but something happened with like scheduling, and he got like abandoned by the Cub Scout troop. Like they changed locations without telling him and his dad. So they like showed up one time and they were just not there for their usual meeting and they didn't know like where to go. So he was just like, "Well, I guess I'm not a Cub Scout anymore."
Who? Jacob?
Yeah.
That tracks.
Yeah. I don't remember what the deal was. I'd have to ask him, but
That's so funny.
yeah.
God bless America. Yeah, I didn't care enough. Like it seems cool on paper, but my parents weren't really much into extracurricular activities
Yeah.
if it wasn't a sport.
Yeah. I mean, mine weren't either. I begged my mother to let me play basketball and that didn't go well. I quit after my first game.
Fair.
But I was actually a Girl Scout for a hot minute, and we low key got kicked out. Not like officially, but we kind of got shamed out.
Is there some tea you want to talk
Oh,
about?
there's some tea. There was some wine. Um, I didn't get us kicked out. My mom and my best friend's mom got us kicked out because we were at a camp out, not at like an official Girl Scout camp, but at like a local. One of the girls in the troop, her grandparents had like a farm or something with like a creek and like a big field that we could camp out in, and so he was like, "Yeah, you can camp out here." And we went to the camp out, and my mom and my best friend at the time's mom had like smuggled in some wine. So they were trying to be sneaky about it and they had like their wine glasses. And they didn't have glasses. Like that would be too much attention drawn. But they had like cups with wine in it under their like camp chairs and we were all running around like doing kid stuff. And one of the girls tripped and knocked over one of the cups and got wine on her shoe and she like told, and obviously they were chaperoning and they couldn't really get out of it, so they got in trouble. And I don't think I was like present for that conversation, and I don't really, it's been so long ago I don't remember exactly what happened, but they like the troop leader was pissed and she basically like shamed my parents to the point that they were just like, "Okay, well, you know what, screw this, like our kids joined this so that they could like make friends and now they're best friends." So we would just like go and hang out at their house. Like I spent the night over at her house all the time and it was way more fun than Girl Scouts ever was. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I never did Boy Scouts. I wanted to do 4-H so bad, but my parents wouldn't let me.
I did a little bit of 4-H. I actually won a medal or something, or not a medal, a ribbon for a cookie contest one time.
Really?
Yeah, and I did I went to 4-H camp.
Yeah, I was just in it for 4-H camps to be honest,
Yeah.
but never got to do that. I got to do like theater in middle school,
Yeah.
high school.
When I went
But
when I went to 4-H camp on the last day, that was just a wild ride. Like you want to talk about like a dramatic ass middle school experience. I had some rough days at 4-H camp.
Sure.
And I was very shy as a child, so I was very stressed. I didn't know how to make other friends. And fortunately, like my friend that I was just talking about from the Girl Scouts, we were in 4-H together, so we both went. But on the last day of 4-H camp, I had one change of clothes left, and I went in the bathroom, and you know, it's like a stall setup. I went in the bathroom to change, and I peed and I stood up, turned to flush the toilet, and as I was turning, my hand hit my clothes, my last change of clothes, and knocked them into the toilet with my pee on the last day.
I have a similar story.
Do you?
Yeah. So when I was in high school, my freshman year, we did, like it was the first ever like freshman like theater
Yeah.
class, and it was like a big deal.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Burke taught it. Shout out.
Hey.
Um, and for like our like final or whatever,
Yeah.
instead of putting on like a play or whatever, we did a movie.
Okay.
And so, because Mr. Burke was all about the movie projects,
for sure.
So, we like wrote a script as a class and like put up like did this movie, did the editing, made the sound design, all this
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
And my character that I got casted for was based off of Mr. Flanders from The
like,
Simpsons.
The Simpsons? Yeah.
Yeah, his name was Mr. Flounders, and
Okay.
the joke was that I smelled like fish. Or whatever.
Oh!
And like the neighborhood kids would like terrorize me by putting fish in my mailbox. Like,
Okay.
so costume design time. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Like khakis,
Yeah.
and not even like the light khakis, like
Okay.
the ones your grandpa wears.
Okay.
Okay, khakis. We've got a white button-up shirt
Uh-huh.
with a brown sweater vest over top,
Oh, yes, the sweater vest.
and then I had prescription glasses
Uh-huh.
that I would wear while I was on set.
Uh-huh.
But I also wore contacts. So instead of wearing my glasses all day, I would take my contacts out and put my glasses on
Yeah.
while I was in theater, while we were shooting the film.
Uh-huh.
And one time while I was changing, I had my glasses on,
Uh-huh.
and I like was in the bathroom stall, and my foot got caught on like around my like pant leg or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and I was like pulling and yanking on it, and I flung my head back, and my glasses went into the toilet, and the frame popped out, and there was somebody else's pee in there. It wasn't even
Oh
mine.
my god.
It was someone else's pee. So
Oh.
I had to reach my hand in there because we were poor and I
Yeah.
couldn't get another pair of prescription glasses. So I had to reach my hand into somebody else's pee
A nightmare. An actual nightmare.
and fish my transparent, translucent, whatever eye lens out of the pee.
My pee.
It was his pee, not
His
my pee.
pee.
His pee. So yeah, that's my pee story.
That's horrible. Well, wow. I'm sorry for your
I'm glad
loss.
we padded an extra like 15 minutes rambling about
Just
pee.
talking about piss.
God.
This is gonna be another weird one to edit. Oh my god.
Well, have fun.
Yeah,
Just
I,
kidding.
I will have fun because I don't know how to
Just
use
kidding.
this fucking software.
Oof, you better learn.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
sticking with us.
Yeah, for real. So sorry that this one's a little off. Not really. It's not off, but
It's a little more wacky than we usually get. It's a little more authentic, I would say, though.
I would agree as well.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Maybe,
I've had a time recording here today.
maybe it's a good thing, Maybe after we do one episode, we really hit our stride and we start to warm up,
That's what we're gonna do from now on. We're just gonna lock ourselves in a room and talk for 2 hours, and then we'll really record the episode.
Yeah. Well, maybe what we need to do is always like try to set up some bonus content, and then we do like a short bonus, and then we're ready and we're primed.
Oh,
You
it'll
know.
work. Yeah.
I think that's probably a good method,
Wow.
and that'll get us some stuff to go on our Patreon, which you can find where.
Well, I'm glad you asked. You can find our Patreon as well as links to all of our social medias if you're interested. We've got some. So if you go to Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, you're going to find us there at issues_podcast. If you go to Tumblr, it's going to be theabandonmentissues.tumblr.com, or you can simply just find our link tree, which will be in the description of this episode, where you can find all of our relevant links, including our cited sources, all of our social media pages, and our Patreon will be there as well.
Yes. And if you want to submit anything to us, any Bigfoot sightings, any information regarding the Eagle Scouts, anything of that nature,
If you know how we can get money from, what was her name? Ethel?
oh yeah,
Edith.
Evelyn, I think.
Evelyn.
if you have any advice on how to approach that whole concept, or if you can verify the story that her husband is dead and she has ovarian cancer or whatever the fuck,
God.
please send that information to tellusyourissue@gmail.com. If you do, we will read it out on the show, much like we did Miss Evelyn's privileged information that I broke her trust to read.
Oopsie. Also, really quick, y'all. I know that this episode's going to be going up kind of in the middle of September, but we just wanted to let you know that we have something a little special planned for the month of October. We're going to be doing some spooky topics, some spooky themes. We might even try and throw an extra couple of episodes in or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Kind of just depends on how busy we are, what we're up to. But we definitely just look forward to some extra spoopy episodes during the month of October, the month of
The
Halloween.
month of Halloween. I mean, it basically is. We do love our spooky season.
True.
So if you do have any like Halloween specific stories or urban legends or whatever, we would also love to get those at that email address if you want to
Yes.
send those in. You can also, I should say this, you can also send us asks on that Tumblr account. I think that I have
Oh,
that
yeah.
open for fan mail. DMs should be open and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
pretty much anywhere you want to reach out to us. The email is probably your best bet, but we
Yeah.
do also have those. So
Yeah.
you can find us if you really want to find us.
And if you don't, that's your problem.
Yeah. Why are you even here? Why are you listening? Please don't go. I love you.
Please. Please.
Please, the 5 of you that are here, please.
Okay, well, this has been fun. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.